Welcome, everyone, to Linhurst Community News. Today is February 7th, 2024, and this is episode 42. I'm Brian Haggerty, and here's what's happening around our community this week. But first, if you have any news from your club, your organization, church, school, your team, or birthdays and anniversaries of note, as well as engagements, make sure you send them to LyndhurstCommunityNews at gmail.com. And like every email address or telephone number or confirmation we send you, everything is in the description box below the video on YouTube. And I know some people have been confused about that. They've asked me where to find that. Many of you do watch us on Facebook, but what you're watching on Facebook is being imported from YouTube. So if you click the video on Facebook, it will bring you to YouTube, go below the video, expand the description box, and you will see all of the contact information that we always mention here. Now, we've got a great show today, folks, so stay tuned to the end because we're going to start something new today, at least for this month. We're going to be giving away prizes, giveaways for people who answer Lyndhurst trivia questions. Now, there will be a grand drawing done at the end of the month, but each week I will ask a trivia question. You could email your answers to us here at LyndhurstCommunityNews at Gmail. And for all the people who get correct answers, their names are going to go into a giant bowl. And the first week of March, we're going to go right down to Vinnie Mutz's, where we're going to do the drawing. Vinnie Mutz will do the drawing himself. And we're giving away a $100 gift card to Home Depot. And remember, Home Depot's not just tools. Home Depot's got everything for your home. And no, they are not a sponsor. Before anybody thinks, we do not have sponsors on this show, nor do we charge businesses or anyone for any time we highlight or spotlight anything. This is purely a community broadcast for the betterment of our community and for the preservation of the wonderful community that we have. So, great show coming up. Lots to talk about, including some amazing Black history in honor of Black History Month that was sent to me by Joe Cofone, our historian here, who is the author of the definitive book of Linhurst History called My Lyndhurst. And he also wrote a book on the history of the Lyndhurst Police Department, both of which are available on Amazon.com, and I highly recommend everybody get them. And it was he who, upon my request, was gracious enough to give me these incredible trivia questions that we're going to get to at the end of the show, or toward the end. Okay, so let's get into the news. So last Thursday, as we reported last week, was the very first meeting of the new Linhurst Redevelopment Agency. They met in the caucus room that is on the second floor of Town Hall. Now, the agency is an advisory group. Now, they're going to assist the township in coming up with a plan for the redevelopment of the Lincoln School property, and of course with the hopes that that would then extend outward to the other area properties surrounding Lincoln School. Now, the group plans to set a formal calendar of events and meetings beginning, I believe, after Easter. Now, these meetings will include meetings with every organization and group, residents, you name it, PTAs, whoever. It's open to everyone throughout the township because this group, this organization, they want to hear ideas from everyone. Because after all, somebody out there may have an idea that no one has thought of yet. And so everyone and anyone regarding what could be the best idea for what we can do with the Lincoln School property, because actually that property is the most prominent piece of property in the township on the corner of Ridge Road and Valley Brook Avenue. And the thinking is that whatever goes there becomes the hallmark and the staple and the attraction that can help all of the surrounding properties as well, because many of the properties in this town are very, very old. They were built even before we had cars. It was a horse and buggy town back in those days. And the reason why Valley Brook Avenue on the Lincoln School side is so wide is because that is where the trolley, which ran up and down Ridge Road to Kearney, would turn to go all the way down Valley Brook Avenue down to Stuyvesant Avenue. So there's a little history and a little trivia for you right there. So as ideas and suggestions are compiled and reviewed by the agency, what they will eventually do is they will make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners because it is they who have the final say on any development of the property. So stay tuned here to Linhurst Community News. We're going to keep everyone updated with the progress and with some of the ideas that are put forth in the coming months. All right, and also, Mayor Jan Giarrusso wants to remind everyone that the online meeting regarding the reconstruction of the Kingsland Avenue Bridge will be held tomorrow, Thursday, February 8th, from 6 to 8 p.m. Now, this is an online meeting. Now, the link to access the meeting online is via Microsoft Teams, and there is a link. I will leave it in the description box. You could also find it on the town's website. If you prefer, if you don't want to watch it online, you may call in. You will only hear audio, obviously. The phone number is 1-929-336-2435, and then the phone conference ID is 976-116-271, and then hashtag or the number sign on your phone. Again, this will be in the description box. And now, just to be clear, by the way, this is not a Lyndhurst project. This project is a collaboration of the County of Bergen, the County of Essex, in cooperation with the New Jersey Department of Transportation, the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority, and the Federal Highway Administration. So as this has been a project of the mayor's since 2006, the mayor would like as many of you as possible to listen in, add your comments. And if you go to lyndhurstnj.org, the official town website, scroll down, you will see it there. Click on the information. You'll be given all of the information necessary there to make sure that you can listen in or watch this online meeting. All right, moving on. So this is in from Paul Passamano. So the girls' basketball camp, Linhurst Hoops Basketball Camp for Girls, under his direction. Paul's got 37 years of experience coaching girls' basketball, and he wants everyone to mark their calendar because from July 15th to 19th and from July 22nd to the 26th, this is open to grades K to 8, and will be gone from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And each week, it's $175 a week. You get a discount for 2 weeks to $300, but there is limited space. They will be awarding prizes, and the girls can learn the game of basketball while still having fun. So, save your spot by texting Paul at 201-673-0275, and it's the best basketball day camp around, folks. It will be hosted at the Linhurst Rec Center at 862 Valley Brook Avenue, down here in the Meadowlands, right here in Lyndhurst. Now, here's some very big news we are very excited to report on this week. So, Lyndhurst's own Vinnie Mutz is the winner of this year's New Jersey Pizza Bowl. That's right, our own Vinnie Mutz, whose thin crisp crust and grandma pie topped with fresh mutz and tomatoes took home the first prize on Saturday, February 3rd, at the finals of the Pizza Bowl, which were held at Red's Restaurant right here in Carlstadt. Now, Jersey Pizza Joints, a Facebook group with 100,000 members, sponsors this annual event. Its members acted as judges, where they sampled hundreds of pizzerias in New Jersey, and they narrowed them down to the delicious dozen. Now, what's even more amazing is that Vinnie Mutz is new to North Jersey's pizza scene. He's just going to celebrate his first anniversary this April, not of making mutz, of course. He's been doing that forever. But since he opened up his new location, his larger and expanded store right on Valley Brook Avenue, across from the town hall, it's been going to be a year in April. That's his first year anniversary when he started making pizza. So now the winning pie, of course, is a collaboration between Vinnie Morelli, is his last name. Vinnie Mutz, most people don't know his last name is actually Morelli, as well as his pizza maker, Angelo Dahlia. So a big congratulations to Vinnie, Angelo, and everyone at Vinnie Mutz for taking home the prize and putting Lyndhurst on the map again. Congratulations, everyone. Okay, this Friday night, February 8th. No, that's the wrong date they've got here. But it's this Friday night, which is actually the 9th. But they have it here as the 8th. Anyway, right here at the Linhurst Elks, they're hosting a comedy night. Well, the poster says the 9th, but the person who sent it to me wrote the 8th. Okay, so on February 9th, doors open at 6 p.m. Come and join a night of comedy featuring comedians Josh Wells, Rich Carucci, and the headliner, Monique Latisse. I believe that is how you pronounce it. And the host for the evening is Lyndhurst's own comedian, Gina D. It's $20, and there's a cash bar there, but bring your own snacks. For tickets, you can Venmo Jessica Elizabeth H. Put comedy night in the subject line, or call Claire at, which was probably a lot easier for most people, call Claire at 201-456-9260. And that, again, is the Linhurst Elks at 251 Park Avenue here in Lyndhurst. And the Parks Department, under the direction of Commissioner John Montillo, has secured seats to see Wicked, the play, on Wednesday, March 20th. The bus will depart the Parks Department at 5:30 p.m. for the 7 p.m. show. The tickets are $125 apiece, and that includes a ride from the Parks Department directly to the theater and, of course, back from the theater to the Parks Department. Seats are limited, so you must call the Parks Department at 201-804-2482 to reserve your seats, and there is a limit of 4 tickets per person. Okay, and the Linhurst Veterans Alliance has announced the opening of the 2024's Street Banners application process. So yes, the street banner application honoring Linhurst veterans is open again. So the honoree must be a current resident or a past resident, or having served while in the township of Lyndhurst, or be a current member of the Linhurst Veterans Alliance, which means being a member of either American Legion Post 139, AMVETS Post 20, or the VFW Post 3549. Each banner, as we all have seen them around town, each banner will be hung either on Ridge Road, Valleybrook Avenue, or Stuyvesant Avenue at a location determined by our Department of Public Works because it is they who hang the banners. The cost for each banner is $150. Please make your checks payable to the Linhurst Veterans Alliance. The cutoff date for the new banners is March 15th, 2024. And for information on how to receive anything, a banner, you can contact Tom Witt at 201-446-1543, and he'll be happy to answer any of your questions as well. And now let's take a look at this week's Golden Bears sports. All right, we got some more good wins this week. The girls' basketball team beat Hasbrook Heights 41-24. They then went on to beat Leonia 58-39 to advance to the BIT semifinals next weekend. We'll keep you updated on that. And boys' basketball beat Cresskill in the NJIC playoffs. And a big congratulations to Anthony Pizzuti, who broke the all-time boys basketball scoring record. He beat the previous record, which was held by Scott Ryder, which was, that record was made way back in 1987. So congratulations, Anthony. And once again, our bowling team has been hot this year. They beat Hasbrook Heights 7-0, as well as North Arlington 5-2. And a big special congratulations to Mark Regano, who finished second in the BCCA tournament. So another great week of wins for our Golden Bears. Good luck and congratulations to all of you, coaches and players alike. All right, now we're on to our new weekly trivia. And as I said, you're going to email your answer to me at LyndhurstCommunityNews.com. And what we're going to do, because obviously there are going to be many people who get this right, and those who do will all be put into a one major drawing that we're going to do the first week of March down at Vinnie Mutz's. It will be recorded. Vinnie Mutz himself is going to put his hand in the bowl where everybody who's ever got a correct answer, because remember, we have 4 weeks of shows between now and March, so you have 4 weeks to get everything correct. And if you get one each week, that'll be 4 shots that you'll have at winning a $100 gift card from Home Depot. And so here we go. Let's see here. He gave me, Joe Cofone gave me so many great questions, but I thought the first question I'm going to ask, since we talk so much about sports, all right, here's the question. Lyndhurst High School sports teams acquired the nickname Golden Bears in what year? A, 1926, B, 1932, C, 1934, or D, 1935. So, if you know the answer, email it to me, but you've got to make sure you give me your name, phone number, and address, because if you win the drawing next month, we have to be able to get that card to you. So again, the Lyndhurst High School sports team acquired the nickname Golden Bears in what year? 1926, 1932, 1934, or 1935. Email your answers to us here at LyndhurstCommunityNews at gmail.com. Okay, and as I said earlier in the show, we have some Linhurst history here, courtesy of Joe Cofone, once again. He had sent me a great amount of work here, 13 pages worth of his research into black history in Lyndhurst, or what was to be Lyndhurst. Obviously, years ago, it was Union Township. So I read through it, and I said, now here's a great story I want to share with everybody. This is about a gentleman named Simon Peter Wooby, W-O-O-B-Y. Now, Simon Peter Wooby may very well be the first free African-American to take up residence in what was then Union Township, in what is today, of course, known as Lyndhurst. Wooby was a successful innkeeper and restaurant owner whose business was found at the southwest corner of Park and Court Avenues. Of course, the building is long since gone, but it was there until probably about 40 years ago or so. Now, later, the hotel would acquire the address of 201 Park Avenue officially. Wooby's Hotel, originally referred to as the Standard Hotel, operated from the early 1890s until his death in 1918. Members of his family would continue the bar portion of the business up until around the mid-1950s. Now, ancestral data indicates that Wooby was born in Upper Freehold Township, which is located in Monmouth County, in August of 1853. Now, prior to his arrival in Lyndhurst, which is now Lyndhurst, of course, Peter Wooby operated a stable at 494 Washington Street in Newark. Now, this information came courtesy of one of his ancestors who gave it to Joe Cofone, so family lore suggests that Wooby knew the person who owned the Valley Brook Racecourse. Therefore, it was possibly William Riggin Travers, or following Travers' death in 1887, someone at Travers Realty who convinced him to either purchase or build the Standard Hotel, and research suggests that Wooby came to Lyndhurst sometime between 1887 and 1891. Now, according to the 1900 U.S. federal census, Wooby, whose race is indicated as black, was 46 years old at the time the census was taken. He was married for 12 years at that time to Anne, whose race all census data reports as white. That early record had no information regarding the street where Wooby lived. However, it showed that he owned the home he was living in and was carrying a mortgage for the property. His occupation was listed as hotel keeper. Residing with Wooby at the time was his wife of 12 years, Anna, a cook named Agnes Fonard, and a hoster named Peter Snyder. The last two people were obviously employees of the hotel. Now, information about Wooby's race was confirmed by his great-grandson, William Wooby, who has diligently investigated his family history. William is a successful and well-known art developer who, for many years, has owned art museums and restaurants in Washington, D.C., where he resides. Now, it's interesting to note that other federal and state census data reports Wooby's race as white. In earlier times, census data was collected in person. The enumerator, who was the person collecting the data, usually asked the head of the household or a spouse questions pertaining to the required data items contained in the census form. Some of the obvious data, such as gender and race, were based merely on the enumerator's observations of the people being counted. The likely reason that Wooby was often documented as being white is simply because he was light-skinned. Now, we have a photo here. Obviously, you can't see it, but it's in his writings here, a photo from the great-grandson of Simon Peter Wooby sitting on his horse carriage. Now, this is just a great story, and it goes on. He was a very popular fellow, by the way. He was known for his cooking skill and his friendly and cheerful personality. And he would hold an annual event called the Shore, S-H-O-R-E, as if down the shore, the Shore Dinner, and it was held every summer at Wooby's Hotel and was popular with many people in the area. In fact, an item in the August 17th, 1894 edition of the Passaic Daily News dates the beginning of the dinners to the summer of 1891. So he was likely already at his Court Avenue establishment, at least at that time. And Joe Cofone was even, I think the great-grandson even gave him copies of the tickets to the Shore Dinner for $1.50. Can you imagine that dinner? A whole afternoon and evening of dinner for $1.50. Boy, how times have changed. A shore dinner was also referred to as a clam bake, and it was a generic term that referred to a dinner consisting mainly of seafood. Besides the food and adult beverages, live entertainment was provided. And in 1906, that's when we have the ticket here, $1.50. Wooby was credited with being a premier caterer for such events, and the who's who of county politics were usually in attendance at the Shore Dinner. The affair usually began in the early afternoon and went into the night. Wooby, which is how he was generally known, Peter Wooby was his full name there as he was known, was also well-liked by area politicians who held their events at Wooby's Hotel, where they even hired him to cater events at other venues. So, he went on to do many, many things, opened it and ran it for many, many years. There's a lot of information here for want of time. I'm not going to read it all. But he finally, as we said, passed away in May 8th of 1918 at the age of 64. His obituary, which appeared in the May 17th, 1918 edition of the Passaic Daily News, reported his age at 73 years. So I don't know what his real age was, but his great-grandson would know. The conflict in his age is likely attributed to the informant who gave the death certificate. So there's your answer. The 1900 census data regarding his age was probably given by Wooby himself, making it a more accurate source. It is unknown, of course, who provided the death certificate data. So there we go. Some great history about Lyndhurst for Black History Month. Thank you, Joe Cofone. And again, make sure you pick up a copy of his book, My Lyndhurst. It's on Amazon.com. It is the definitive history book of Lyndhurst that you'll find out so many goodies in there. You'll never get tired of reading it. It's a big book with lots of information. All right, and that brings us to the end of this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to send in your answers to our trivia questions for a chance to win that $100 gift card from Home Depot. And don't forget, a community is not its roads, it's not its homes or buildings, it is its people. Get to know your neighbors, help the elderly out, support local businesses, check your batteries on your smoke detector and your CO2 detectors. And I'll see you next week. May God bless you all, and may God bless Lyndhurst.